These companies have long been Wall Street darlings.
During the Great Recession in 2009, 2010, both Dollar General and Dollar Tree were two of the best performing stocks.
There are over 36,000 dollar stores across the US. That's more than one store for every 10,000 people.
Pretty good growth over a period of decades, but in the last decade, we've added about 50% more stores, and that's brought a number of challenges.
Dollar Tree has started erasing some of its cheapest staples one aisle at a time. Eggs? Gone. A favorite $1 burrito? Vanishing. Snacks that once lined the freezer? Quietly erased. And the kicker, you probably didn't even notice until your bill went up.
At Dollar Tree, true dollar prices are a thing of the past. The discount giant is raising prices again, some items as high as $7. The company also announced sister brand Family Dollar will close nearly 1,000 stores starting this year. Call with investors last week, the company said to expect a $5 bag of dog food next to a $1.25 bag of pet treats, calling it a multi-price assortment.
Tell me the truth. Are you still going to be shopping at Dollar Tree when prices raised to $7 an item?
Shoppers taking to social media to complain about higher prices.
Yo, at this point, I am just so sick of everything.
Okay, change the name. Wealthy Tree. Fortune Tree.
These aren't random shortages. They're deliberate removals. So the question is, what else is disappearing while we're distracted by rising prices? Stay with me because today we're unpacking 10 products you'll never see on the shelves again in 2025 and why that matters for your wallet.
The reason? A combination of inflation and an influx of higher income customers who can better afford it.
Why are people who are making $100,000 a year or more shopping at a dollar store?
Now, over 300 new items will range from $1.50 to $7. Other famously cheap deals also undergoing recent changes. Trader Joe's raising single banana prices from 19 to 23 cents.
There's a lot of price pressures that are impacting consumers. They're going out to buy goods and services and looking for places to cut.
It's been a few years since things were actually $1 at the dollar store. After 35 years in 2021, a dollar minimum price became $1.25.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You probably think Dollar Tree is still the land of dollar meals and quick fixes, but if you've walked through those aisles lately, the shelves are starting to tell a very different story. That promise of a cheap meal in your freezer or a basic grocery staple to stretch the week is slipping away. What's replacing it are empty spots, larger price tags, or items that don't even try to hit the old $1 mark.
And what about that $1.50 Costco hot dog and soda combo? According to Axios, an outgoing Costco executive says proof of membership will soon be required at some outdoor food court locations.
All right, so when it comes to deciding between a trip to the grocery store or to the dollar store, think about what you're planning to buy. Canned goods, for example, might be cheaper on sale at a regular grocery store, but for household items like maybe baby wipes or diapers, a dollar store may be the better bet.
Dollar stores, the most likely price hikes will be on food, pet supplies, and personal care items.
Once you have the consumer in the door, they are going to make that purchase.
More than a pretty penny for many cash-strapped families.
This isn't just you noticing bad luck. It's intentional, and it's changing how far your last-minute grocery dollar actually goes. Let's start with the kind of items that quietly kept a lot of households afloat on a lean week. The key ones were basic eggs, those familiar frozen burritos, and snack packs you could toss into the microwave when time ran out or the fridge looked bare. Each of these has been disappearing, not in an obvious clearance sale where they post a big sign, but in a slower, quieter rotation, where one day you realize they've switched out your go-to for something you never asked for at twice the price. Families that used to count on these basics walk in expecting cheap food for a week and walk out realizing there's no cheap week anymore. Seniors going to stretch Social Security, students grabbing dinner on the way home from class. It's the same story. What used to be safety staples turned into just higher markups. or just missing altogether.
And, you know, the big box stores, a lot of them are really doubling down on their store brands because they know there's all these demographics who want cheap, and so they want to make sure that they have a lot of price points.
I love the store brand.
I do find it interesting that you put out your story there that...
But for the people who really are chasing cheap all the time, they're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't like $7.
Correct.
I come here for $1.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's in the name. It's in the name.
Thanks, Christine. The buck stops there. Okay, thank you.
Well done.
The largest growing demographic are folks who actually make a fair amount of money.
Make $125,000 or more a year. And so that's why they're having this multi-price assortment, because they've got a customer who can afford higher price things.
Take the eggs, for example. For years, they sat as a kind of unspoken safety net. You knew that even if you were tight on cash, you could still walk out with a carton to make breakfast stretch for a few days. Around 2023, that simple option vanished. The cartons that show up now aren't the dependable cheap buy, they're higher price packs that wander in and out, inconsistent and far from the easy safety option. Pulling that choice was like taking the spare tire out of your trunk. Day to day, you might not notice, but when you end up counting on it, the gap smacks you in the face.
The companies can say, you know, well, we're still growing revenues nicely. Both companies are saying they're taking market share. And these are all true statements, but when you really drill down to where you're taking share, like at a per store basis.
Now let's move on to those frozen snack packs, the kind stamped with bold photos promising quick heat and eat comfort. For a long time, they worked as a late-night filler. You put one in the microwave, hit start, and you had a hot bite for a single buck. But overnight, they quietly disappeared from most freezers. Walk in looking for them today, and you'll probably face higher-cost replacements with fewer choices. What used to be an easy fallback meal, when you didn't have much fuel left at the end of the day, now sets you back triple the cost for something less satisfying. But here's the kicker. This is not a supply chain hiccup or a mistake in ordering. Retail analysts explain that the chain is intentionally retooling itself. The old bargain bin approach is being swapped for what they're calling a 3.0 model, designed to push customers toward items that carry higher price tags and larger markups. That means the stuff that once kept you afloat has been cut, not because it failed, but because it succeeded too well in staying cheap. Look no further than the El Monterey burritos. For years, they were your reliable sidekick, $1 for a decent shot at filling up. They were the affordable quick fix that never judged a bare cupboard. But finding them now is rare, and when they do appear, it feels more like a cameo than a standard item. Their absence tells you exactly where this is going. What once served as last-line options are being stripped away, aisle by aisle, and replaced with a version of value that costs far more. So what's the takeaway here? These changes aren't temporary shortages or late trucks. They're planned, silent cuts. Dollar Tree is reshaping the very meaning of low cost. What they're calling progress translates into fewer true bargains and more ways to spend $2, $3, or $5 in a store named for one. And it doesn't stop with food. Snacks, house basics, beauty supplies, even the party section, they're all getting the same treatment, one quiet disappearance after another. What looks like a few missing items here, and there is actually a major shift. Dollar Tree isn't acting like the backup plan store anymore. Each small cut, eggs gone, frozen snacks erased, burritos fading out, adds up to a big change in what cheap really means. If your bill feels heavier while your cart looks lighter, that's by design. Watch what staples you count on, and don't let these quiet cuts slip by without notice. Share this with someone who shops there so fewer people get blindsided. And like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on these retail shifts.